It's not that I have experienced it by myself, but I have seen people, I have heard about people, I have helped people with digestive issues, IBS, and lots of problem with their digestion. And they actually healed by doing raw food. And that experience tells me that, is raw food really so hard to digest that you think? Is it? Is it the raw food that is the problem for you? Or is it actually you that have a problem with raw food? Do you have the problem with chewing? Maybe you actually confuse hard to digest with hard to chew. People often don't chew their food enough. And if you start to eat raw food, you will notice that the texture is different. And if you don't start to chew enough and swallow whole pieces of like tough vegetables, you will have some problems because your gut doesn't have teeth, right? So if you actually start to chew your food, you will notice a difference in your digestion. And I mean, we should actually chew our food around 50 times. So the food in our mouth become liquid and we can swallow it. So if you eat cooked food that have no fiber, it's actually liquid, so you can almost swallow it. But that doesn't mean that you digest it so well. You don't feel the digestion so well if you have something cooked. If you have an egg, for example, that is really soft, so it was just like, it was just feel calm and smooth in the gut. But it doesn't mean that it improves your gut. It actually do the opposite, because we need fiber. Because if we don't get fiber, we can't feed the good microbes that are in our gut that actually help improve our life and help improve like the immune system and everything. So I mean, if you eat fiber and you already have a very sensitive digestive system, you might feel it a little bit, but if you start to chew your food, that makes a huge difference just right there, chew the food. And also a problem with not eating raw food is that, I mean, we need oxygen, we need living water, and we need enzymes in order to digest our food. So if we don't chew enough, we don't get their enzymes, because we have enzymes in the mouth when we chew. And if we just swallow everything, it comes undigested food to the gut. And that is a problem. I mean, we produce some enzymes there also, but we have enzymes in the mouth also. So we need everything. And the food that is not cooked actually contain enzymes, and we need as much as possible. I mean, enzyme acts as proteins. They are like the life in our body, actually. They do so much good stuff in our body, so we need as much we can. And of course, some enzymes might get destroyed when it comes down to the gut and so on. Maybe the food is not fresh enough, so it don't have all the all the enzymes it should have. But we still get a few of them, and the more you can get of them, the better it is. And when people say that raw food is hard to digest, maybe it's other things around there. Maybe they don't really want to eat raw food, and they try to find like reasons to the raw food to not be good for them. Maybe they have so strong food addictions, so they just like, okay, raw food is bad. They just feel that. They feel that raw food is bad because they want to eat something else. Or they want to eat with their friends and with their families, and you're not strong enough to say no thank you, and then you like think yourself that, okay, raw food is not good for me. So it's so much other things when people say that raw food is not good. And also people say that raw food is cooling. It's not cooling. I mean, it can be cooling. So if you go to me, I eat actually more warm food than any cooked food eater, actually. I mean, cooked food eaters, they start with the day with hopefully they drink water in the morning. And probably that is cold. I mean, almost everyone prefer cold water. I never drink cold water. I always drink at least lukewarm water, or warm water actually. And then they start to eat breakfast, and then they have the cold yogurt. They have the sandwiches with cold cheese, cold ham, cold, different stuff they put on there, spreads and so on. And then they drink hopefully they drink some juice so they can get some vitamin C, and that juice is stored in the fridge. That is also cold. And then they have maybe milk or something else. So yeah, just start right there. They eat cold food in the morning. I never eat cold food in the morning. I love to start my day with smoothies or juices or fruit, fresh fruit, but that is never cold. I use actually my oven. I put my fruit in the oven sometimes, just to warm it up a little bit. I don't want to eat things cold. And when you eat raw food, it's not that you warm it up, but you can warm it up to your body temperature or a little bit higher, like 42 degrees. So that's what I do. And I love to have hot drinks like like lattes and golden latte and so on. So that is also something I warm, but I don't cook it. I just warm it. If something is over your body temperature, you actually notice that, okay, your body notices that it's warm, and it is warm you. So yeah, you start right there with the breakfast. And then we have like lunch and dinner that is probably cooked. But you actually never eat things when it's warm, because if you eat things when it's warm, you will burn yourself. So people think like on the spoons because they can't eat it because it's too warm. So the temperature when people put food in the mouth is actually the same temperature when I eat my salad, because or it doesn't have to be salad, it can be a raw vegan pizza or something. Because cooked food eaters, they also have a limit. They can't eat too warm food because they will burn themselves. So you start right there. And then we go to like desserts. People tend to eat like ice cream and cold cakes and the different kind of desserts that comes from the fridge all the time. I mean, I eat raw food ice creams, but I tend to eat like more ice creams in the summertime. In the wintertime, I almost never eat ice cream actually. Very rare, I actually do. And people still drink like cold beers and and this kind of stuff. So people that say that raw food is too cold, I don't agree with that. And you can also spice things up. I mean, I can understand you have like cooling foods and you have warming foods, eat different energies, and it's actually how they actually react in the body. If you go to Ayurveda or Chinese medicine, for example, you will see that it's different. Some food is really cooling for the body, for example, cucumber, and some food is actually more warming food, for example, like potatoes and so on. But it's actually many raw foods that is a bit warming. Nuts is more warming, for example, and also different fruits like pears and so you can look at that a little bit. And also spices. You can spice up your food a lot, and I love to do that. I definitely love to spice up my food with different spices like cumin, chili, cayenne, black pepper, onion, and different stuff, garlic and ginger and cinnamon. What else? Yeah. So I love to do that, and it actually helps a lot. And different stuff when you eat it, it's actually producing heat in the body. So when you eat kale, for example, it has the effect that's producing heat in the body. So that is really interesting. You can look into that. But no, I don't buy the argument that raw food is too cold for me. No, I don't. And you have to remember that when the body goes through adjustments in the micro gut flora, that is actually due when you start to eat a raw food diet, you can feel that you can feel that happened, that something is not right in the body, because your body just have to go through the adjustment to raw foods. It's not like, I mean, our body is like, they get used to things and they like to get used to things, but it can take some time to just go over that period. But when you start to eat a raw food diet, you will introduce things that actually improves your gut and improves your flora. So when you get over that step, when your gut flora have improved, that the friendly bacteria actually take over, you will digest raw food like a king. But as I said, you have to chew your food. You still have to chew your food, always. That is so important. And also you can't like stress and like you have to relax when you eat. It's very important how you eat also. It's not like what you eat always, it's just how you eat. Are you stressed when you eat? Do you watch TV when you eat? And all this kind of stuff. Or are you angry with your parents or with your partner when you eat? I mean, it's so many things like can going on at the same time you eat. So it's not like always the food that is the problem. So look into that. And then we have food combining. I mean, food combining, it's a little bit tricky with that, because if you see food combining, you will see that you shouldn't combine like fruit with vegetables and nuts and fruit and this kind of stuff. I'm a huge believer in that. That have helped me a lot, but it's not that you have to do the food combining the rest of your life. Just do it in the beginning when you're sensitive, and then you can introduce more combinings if you want. For example, the heavier combinings is always hard to digest, so it's not like you should do that, but when you get stronger, you can handle that even more. So don't do all the time perfect food combining, because that can make you a little bit weaker longer run. But start to introduce it later, more food. But you can try that in the beginning if you're sensitive. So that's all my tips for the raw food. And no, I don't buy the argument that raw food is more hard to digest. So thank you so much for watching. Please like and subscribe to my channel to support me a little bit extra. Bye!